All right, we're live on YouTube. And we will be live on Instagram in 3, 2,
2, 1.
1.
And shout out YouTube for waiting 5 extra seconds. We're officially live on Instagram, episode 80 something for
85, 6, 86.
I feel like we've been in the 80s
86.
for 7 months.
86.
I
kept track. I looked.
Yeah. There's an asterisk. There's an asterisk by episode 86. Ben Ryan Chase back-to-back Tuesdays. We're getting in the rhythm right now. The heart of, fall sports season. People are already decorating for Christmas. I'm just worried about the Sixers digging themselves out of this 2-7 hole to start. But exciting times. How you guys doing?
Doing good. Excited to be back.
Yeah,
how are you guys doing?
What's going on? I'm excited, and I know Knicks Sixers playing right now. A lot of your fellow Sixer fans seem like they've thrown in the towel already.
Yeah, Chase, I wanted to talk to you about that. I mean, everyone's given up early. The thing that I don't like, obviously, is that the big three, Maxey, Paul George, Embiid, haven't been on the court yet together. It feels like, like the Suns of last year, the Brooklyn Nets a few years ago. Any traditional big three with the injuries, and they can't. I mean, that's a concern to me. But besides that, we still have Joel Embiid. I mean, he's playing now. Hopefully, he gets kind of his act together. He gets his motivation rolling. And I mean, 2-7, it's a sucky start for sure. But I'm for sure not giving up any hope yet.
Yeah, neither am I. And I think even Embiid's realizing why go so hard at the beginning of the season, because these games kind of don't matter. As long as you start to get into a rhythm, I think in December, start to really pick it up then, it's not such a big deal. Also, the fact that they've been bounced by lower seeds in the last few years, I feel like he feels like, what's the point of us rushing so hard to only get the 3rd overall seed, maybe the 4th seed, just to have tough matchups anyways. Maybe we can be the tough matchup this year. So I kind of don't feel like there's any stress on it. If this was late January, February, and they still have a below 500 record, obviously that would be a waste of the season. But I don't think it'll be that. I think they'll they'll start to heat up eventually. Like now that Embiid's there, obviously Maxey's out now, but it is what it is. I think that they just have the depth and they can get these guys in and get the work in. So
yeah, and let's be real. It's Daryl Morey. Besides their big three, it's a bunch of 1 to 2 year guys. Half of them are probably going to get dealt at the deadline, which I don't like, but it's inevitable. So, gather as many wins as you can. Keep Embiid healthy. You get to the trade deadline, you make your necessary moves, and then you try to get into rhythm to ramp up for the playoffs. And I'm saying the playoffs because I'm still confident they will make the playoffs. Yes.
At least playing tournament.
Yeah.
At least
hey, we got through. Yeah, we got out of that last year. I don't know. The plan. I don't really like the plan because I mean you're essentially giving 10 out of 15 teams a chance in the playoffs after like an 82 game season. A little ridiculous, but it is better than the freaking in season NBA Cup. Oh my gosh, I forgot how much I hate these freaking courts. And if anyone who knows me knows I love a game within a game, drinking Monopoly, great time. Some type of Pong betting,
add that to the list.
A great time, right? But the NBA Cup is just them doing too much. And oh my gosh,
the games don't matter, right? For the record.
Yes, they do.
They do matter. Okay.
All except for the championship, which is why I hope the Sixers don't make it to the finals because that game doesn't count towards the regular season. I mean,
yeah, I agree. I hope they lose early, and then just focus on winning on the season. Yeah, there's no stress.
Yeah, for sure. And with that, we're talking about the Sixers right now. I'm rocking a brand new Paul George jersey. I've always been a Paul George fan. Back in the Pacers days, he was a lot of fun to watch. I always rooted for him against LeBron and the Heat teams. I just think he's a solid guy, great two-way player. It's one of he's a likable NBA guy. But with that, I wanted to ask you guys because this is my 6th Sixers jersey I have. First white one. I have some blues, a couple black jerseys.
Are we gonna guess the others?
Yeah, I was gonna see if you guys know my other 5 jerseys I have. I don't know if you guys can get this or not.
I can guess some.
Man,
We don't got a tune to, like, some type of tune real quick to see if you can guess them. I don't think we have that offhand, but
No, I think we can do like a little Jeopardy music or something. Like do a little like something like that.
okay.
But let's see. All right, Iverson.
Yep. Yep. Joel Embiid. It's 2.
Do you have a Okafor jersey?
That's my other number 8, Jahlil Okafor. That's 3.
You have Carter Williams.
I do not. I do not. Just a T-shirt jersey of Michael Carter Williams.
Ben Simmons.
Nope. So
No Ben
glad.
Simmons.
Oh,
Never had any Ben Simmons. Last 2.
we need 2 more.
I don't. There's one you're not gonna get. Ben gave
Dallenberg.
Ben. I do not have a Samuel Dallenberg jersey. Ben got me one of these last 2 jerseys, by the way. So I don't understand.
Do you have a Tobias Harris jersey?
Unfortunately, no.
I got you a Lou
Okay.
Williams jersey.
Yes.
Okay.
That's
Forgot
my
about
other
that.
my other black jerseys, the Lou Williams. The other one's the City Edition Joel Embiid. And my last jersey, I don't think either of you are gonna get because he only spent about half a season with
Oh,
us.
Jimmy Butler.
Jimmy Butler.
Oh yeah.
Super pumped when he
Dang.
came. Asked for the jersey immediately.
I told you it was a bad idea.
It's still a good jersey to
That's
have.
true. That's true.
He's a great player.
You-
He's probably going to be in the Hall
and you
of
got
Fame.
the Embiid one anyway, so I guess that's
Yeah, I got the safe Embiid, the safe Iverson.
yeah. Lou Williams
Yeah.
is safe because he's all.
The only one that really is the Okafor. I mean, the Butler one's not good, but I mean,
all 6 are better than my Kevin Knox jersey that I'm wearing right now. So
no, it might be better. No, Okafor is better than Knox.
yeah, at least Okafor did something. Knox didn't do anything. I mean, he might not even be in the league anymore. I honestly don't know.
I don't know either.
But yeah, we'll talk more NBA as the season goes on. I don't think
Maybe
any of
get
us-
some NBA picks going at some point.
We don't have a ton of things to talk about with that, but we'll move on to some football. You had a great win, although probably gave you a couple heart attacks there. Ryan and I had a tough week, but
Really bad week.
yeah. Why don't we talk Cowboys and Jets first, and then we can touch on the Ravens a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I'm just gonna, before you click anything, Ben, I'm just gonna straight call you out because in my opinion, we I think what was it, week 2 or week 3, we used to do that segment. We did it for a couple weeks, worst loss of the week. I'm pulling out the worst loss of the NFL season right now. That is the New York Jets losing, not even losing, getting absolutely destroyed by the Arizona Cardinals on Sunday. Are you kidding me, Ben? I'm calling you out right now. 13 days ago, last week, we said how it was a must-win game for the New York Jets against a great football team, the Houston Texans, on a Thursday night primetime game where they haven't shown up yet. 2-6, you need to win. They have their best game of the season. They get Devontae Adams going. They get him a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers is starting to look like he's getting some rhythm. Breece Hall is moving. They're getting over the Robert Saleh fire. 13 days later, they have 13 days to break. You literally let Kyler Murray run all over your defense. And then on top of that, you let Jonathan Gannon, of all people, stuff Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Breece Hall. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. It was another must-win game, by the way. They're not making the playoffs now, so congrats to you for being a fan of this terrible, terrible Sunday performance.
Okay.
Now
that I took that,
Yeah.
let's talk. So yes, we talked about the Jets, and we said that Rodgers might be getting too much power, and I said they needed to go 3-1 in the next 4 games to have a chance. So I'm not ruling them out yet. It was
31-6.
It was a bad game. The Cardinals seem to have games where they play like they should be Super Bowl contenders, and they have games where they literally look like they can't beat the Titans.
Fair.
I don't know. And the Jets team did not step up to the plate on Sunday. But I'm going to go over to your team because you talk about bad defenses. You guys have the epitome of bad defenses. I mean, everybody is just itching to play the Cowboys right now and just torch you guys, absolutely torch you guys. And there's no way. Yeah, you guys are also done. I mean, you say the Jets are done, you guys are done. You're not gonna. You got Cooper Rush and no CeeDee Lamb. You got nothing. You got nothing back.
No,
there.
CeeDee's playing. Just no
Is
Dak.
he back?
Yes, just no Dak.
I thought he was out too. Was he out last week? Wasn't he injured?
Yeah, he's okay. I guess.
Oh, okay.
He is playing, but I that's my only point.
But we can go back to what Chase said like 2 months ago, and we talked about in the group chat that now the Cowboys just angle for Dion and Shador, and basically be in the tabloids every 2 days. Have fun with that.
Yeah, I mean, just like you had no argument, I also have no argument.
I got nothing. The Jets were bad. Jets have been bad all year. They've underperformed. They come to the year as Super Bowl like expectations, and to be, are they 2-7?
3-7.
3-7. I mean, that is like firing Robert Saleh when they did. Like, did they really think that was going to just fix the problem? It's not.
By the way, their interim coach, I think, is trash.
I don't like it either. That's the only thing I'm excited for, is they have the opportunity to like actually vet and research and get a good coach that can hopefully be there for a while. Like, let's use this time to get a good coach that you can build around. And like, there are some guys, like you look at the Vikings this year, like who would have thought the Vikings would do what they're doing? I mean, Darnold's definitely slowing down a little, but now the defense is winning games. So, I mean, yeah, the Jets have been bad. The Cowboys have been bad. We're just right now, we got 2 bad football teams we're rooting for.
Yeah, the only thing that actually worries me is this weird, type of voodoo power I have that somehow like becoming the Cowboys fan as an Eagles fan my whole life. I wonder if I've like wrecked the Dallas Cowboys. Like, we've pondered it. And she's actually even made a comment at one point saying how I might have to go back. And I was like, I am not as bad of the heat as I took from making the switch.
Can't go back.
I'm not going back.
Yeah, you can now.
No, because then I'm gonna somehow like end up as like a New York Giants fan, and it's just it's not.
Oh,
so I'm gonna have to gut it out. And if I've like ultimately cursed the team that's already been cursed for the last 30 years, then so be it.
I mean, I know they're playing Cooper Rush, but I would give Trey Lance a shot. I mean, they had 66 passing yards total in the game against the Eagles. And that was
rusty.
That was what Trey Lance had, 21 of the 66.
Cooper Rush was rusty.
He had 13 completions for 45 yards.
He's shaking off the rust.
Yeah, you could call it that.
That is, dude, that bolt is broken. Yeah. I don't know. You mind as like the way the Commanders and Eagles are both playing. The Eagles are starting to step it up a little bit, and I would be surprised if they're able to find themselves in the playoffs at this point, especially with Dak out. I mean, I crap on Dak a little bit, but he's a good quarterback in the league, and they don't have anything to subsidize that.
That's going to be the issue. I mean, Lindsey's already written them off to win the Super Bowl, which I mean, as bad as the last 4 games is going, 5 weeks, the bye, 3 blowouts, ultimately 0-4. 3-6 isn't like the end of the world, especially with the extra game now. I mean, like you said, the Jets, they're 3-7, and you're still saying, they're not out of it. It feels like the Cowboy season's over, but record-wise, it isn't. I mean, it's going to suck. They have the Texans next week, Monday night, who have been spiraling a bit themselves. I'm sure they're going to want to win more than any team right now.
After that.
The Commanders after that, which
then they get the Giants.
Yeah, so
win that one.
It's not over, right? But it feels really bad. But
it's over, dude.
On a more positive note, the Baltimore Ravens, Chase. Let's just move on. The Baltimore Ravens. I actually want to.
Sometimes you're too positive of a fan.
Me?
Yeah, I feel like you're sometimes you're just
okay.
Positive.
I don't know if they can win the Super Bowl. The Dallas Cowboys. I don't know if the Dallas Cowboys can win the Super Bowl at this point in the game.
What do you mean you don't know?
Why is
there still a percentage chance that they can?
I'm not saying no. Because if they do, then I'm wrong. What I will
But
say,
maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need that jinx from you.
what I will say is that my AFR pick to everyone out there listening of over 9.5 wins, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that one sucks.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
I'm really sorry.
Do we have any other football ones that we threw in there? Did I have
That are hanging out? I don't
Yeah.
know. We'd have to check the sheet.
Oh, okay.
We have to. We've had a couple touchdown scores.
I meant like a full year. We can look later.
Yeah,
But
yeah, we can always pop it open, but
Yeah.
No, I want to switch gears, Chase. Obviously, the Ravens playing great. I want to actually talk to you about what I didn't think would be their biggest threat right now, and that's the Pittsburgh Steelers going into Washington, getting a great win. Russell Wilson is just bombing the ball down the field, and he's being his most goober, confident self, it seems, in years. And I just want to obviously, touch on your Ravens and stuff, but it's old school, right? Like this is like mid 2000s, Bengals, Browns, we're not worried about them. It's the Baltimore Ravens, the Pittsburgh Steelers. John Harbaugh, your favorite guy, against the other guy that's been there for, it seems, since I've been born, Mike Tomlin. And what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I like the offense so far. I think they're really clicking. They can turn it on. It seems like, they're almost like a microwave offense sometimes. Like they just don't need a whole lot. They'll be ice cold though for sections, and I don't know. They still need to work that out. But the real problem is the defense. It's atrocious. There's no way that a guy like Jamar Chase having over 200 yards and 3 touchdowns, you don't win those games. There's no way. Like, I still can't believe that the fact that every time he just answered and it would be long touchdowns or you'd just be destroying people in the backfield. So it's going to be a problem, especially with the Steelers. I don't think the Ravens actually even win their first matchup with the Steelers. I think it's just going to be a tough matchup. And it's going to be one of those things, too, where maybe not high scoring, but the Steelers will do enough to keep it close and probably win on a field goal. And it won't be exciting. Everyone's going to say, oh, my God, the Ravens suck. Oh, this is so bad. There's no offense. But they won't appreciate the defense that's being played. They won't appreciate like the offensive part of the Steelers being able to shut down and just hold out and extend plays. So it's going to be a tough one. And obviously, I feel like they're the competition in this division for them. So having to split that series and then possibly have to match up for a third time in the playoffs is definitely a realistic possibility.
Yeah, it's a weird Ravens team because it's like you guys are just known for always having those defenses, and this year you guys have like probably the most explosive offense in the league, and the defense just hasn't been up to where the offense is, which is. And the Steelers, it's weird because they always have a good defense, and they have it again. But then this year, the offense is actually decent. Normally, they have just like marginal offenses that just get the job done. But this year,
I mean, that division's built on
defense. Yeah.
Defense. And don't get me wrong, Chase, I think you're right. Like, you could easily see a 13-10 Steelers win.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it is different for sure. I think the one benefit as a Ravens fan you have to like, Steelers have not even played a divisional game yet. That sucks for them.
That's crazy.
They have to finish the year 6 out of their what are they? They're 7.
Oh no, don't feel bad. Don't feel bad for them.
Don't feel bad.
No.
Sorry.
Give them props. I mean, they've cleaned up where they should.
Yeah.
Because now their schedule, like you're saying, not going to go so hot. I mean, they're going to beat up on the Browns for sure. They'll probably sweep that series, maybe split with the Bengals, probably split it with the Ravens. So there's 2 more losses there. And then.
Yeah, they have 2 against the Browns, 2 against the Bengals, 2 against the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I don't know why the schedule makers did that to them.
And they also play the other non-divisional ones. They also play the Eagles and Chiefs.
So they have 8 games left. 8 games left. 6 divisionals, Eagles, and the Chiefs.
That might be the hardest schedule left in.
Yeah, because I don't.
And even the Browns, like these divisional games, the Browns are not just the cakewalk.
Yeah.
I mean, the Panthers won a few weeks ago against the Saints, and then the Saints just beat the Falcons. I mean, the divisional games are such a toss-up in the NFL.
Yeah.
I don't care who you are playing who. The Broncos almost beat the Chiefs. That game might have been rigged. Regardless. Sorry. I won't get into it. There's no way 4 guys get through to block a 35-yard field goal. I'm sorry. It's not possible. Regardless, the Steelers might be one of the ridiculous ends. But Chase, I won't feel bad for them. They got to this point for a reason, but for sure, you got to split. You got to split that game.
Yeah, we have to, and they're a dangerous team. The only thing that might keep us in with them is I feel like historically Mike Tomlin teams have played down to opponents, so not having to do a whole lot of extra. And I guess that's just in the fact of like if you try too hard, then you're just gonna cause yourself mistakes. But that also loses them some tight games, and especially against a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, definitely can't do that. And the Eagles too; they could just explode on you for 3 touchdowns in 2 minutes. So that's definitely I think the thing that's gonna hurt the Steelers. But I mean, having Russell Wilson is just it's insane. It's almost what Derrick Henry's been able to do with the Ravens. Just it elevates them. It gives them so much more experience. And he won the game in Washington off of a fake,
Yeah.
And he looks healthy. Like,
yeah.
I bet you if the Steelers didn't have Fields and he wasn't playing, like they had that luxury to let Wilson sit and like get like fully healthy. Where I think a lot of times in the NFL you see these guys coming back, early and they can play, but it's still like they're still hobbled. So now you have and then you have that luxury of having Fields back there and knowing the offense getting into some games too if Wilson ever goes down again. So
right. And I think that their wide receivers is going to get better too. Like every week it seems like he's finding someone else. Pat Freiermuth is he's starting to heat up with that connection. I think Russell Wilson's always used his tight end, so I feel like the fact that he's starting to use Freiermuth a little bit more just going to open up. Yeah, it's going to
Williams.
Yeah, it's just going to open up more opportunities for Mike Williams and Pickens on the outside. So, and Calvin Austin, they can just sprinkle in there too. I mean, there's a lot of different options that they're going to have. The more that he's getting the feel for it, the more that Najee gets in there. If Jaylen Warren ever learns how to run straight ahead and more and hold on to the ball, then they'll be, elite.
Yeah.
So
Najee's looked healthier too. Like the first beginning of the season, he looked.
They've almost flip flopped. The last few years, I feel like Warren's had the extra bounce.
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah, he's been the better one. And then, I feel like it's weird because a lot of what Arthur Smith probably did in Atlanta with Bijan, he can do almost the exact same thing with Najee. Like they have almost similar body types, similar skill sets. So I feel like all the failures he was having with the Falcons, maybe he's worked it out a little bit more and having a way better quarterback than he had at Atlanta. I'm not going to deny the fact that he didn't have a Russell Wilson there to help him. Yeah. And just his experience, I think, too, is just really what's going to make them dangerous. Is like this game against the Commanders showed it. Like they came back, won, and then he just high IQ'd them out of the game. Like he just knew exactly what he had to do. And there's definitely 2 quarterbacks where they're going to run up 4th and 1, where okay, there's a 50% chance that they're just going to actually no, it's a 100% chance they're going to make you do this. And it's Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. I feel like those are the 2 guys that are guaranteed just going to get you to go. Everyone else, maybe not so much, but those 2 guys they're different. They're difference makers. Like they throw the ball different than everybody else. They run their offense. Like just don't see their minds in a lot of people.
Yeah.
So it's exciting to watch. Obviously I'm excited. It makes the rivalry better. I'm going to hate losing to them, but I've always respected Russell Wilson. He's captained a lot of my fantasy teams for a lot of years, won me a few championships. So I love his style of play and, is what it is, but good competition. So, and it's going to battle test the Ravens. If they're serious, they're going to win and John Harbaugh's not going to be on his shit anymore, then it's, it's a good test and a high watermark if you can beat on the Steelers and then obviously take that and use it on the Chiefs or the Bills or any of these other high power AFC offenses.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by the way, Chase, you probably don't see it because you don't live out on this side of the pond of PA where Ben and I do. But if I see one more Justin Tucker Royal Farms commercial, oh my gosh, they have these low budgeted commercials. Ben, have you seen them? They're so bad. And they're like getting worse and worse. And it's just, I'm like, dude, I feel like he's he's not even as good of a kicker as he was, and I feel like it's like a straight like Baker Mayfield where he's like focusing more on other stuff. I see him on billboards for car dealerships around here now.
Yeah,
Greencastle, Chambersburg. I'm just like, make your kicks and stop being on TV. So.
true. Yeah. I mean, and he's also getting up there. I mean, I think this is his 13th or 14th year. So
yeah, I don't mean to throw shade, and I'm not coming in chasing.
No, but it's
them.
Yeah, he's definitely changed. Like, there's something where all the great kickers do it though. Like, I think Gostkowski had to change, Vinatieri had to change. Like, I think Tucker just has to find. Nick Folk is 700 years old, and I'm pretty sure he has a wooden leg at this point, but he's still effective kicker. He's not going to hit 60, probably not going to hit a long 50, but anything inside 40 yards, he had some crazy streak going. I think it ended last year, but like he just adapted, found a role, obviously, and got with Bill Belichick for a little bit. That helped him. I think just add to his credibility, add to his streak, because they knew what his strengths were, and they weren't gonna put him out there to be in a weak spot. They're never gonna do that. That's just not what they did. That's never what Bill Belichick does. He wants to put the strengths of everybody out there, but I think he just has to change it up a little bit. Maybe, I don't know. Their bye week's coming up, and I think that's really when he can tinker with himself.
Yeah. And I don't want to throw too much shade. I just don't like the Royal Farms commercials.
Yeah. No, I don't either. But hey, and this is a good thing too. He can miss the kicks now. I don't really give a shit. But by the time that January rolls around, he better be hitting them.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of time left. We still got plenty of time.
Oh yeah, trust me. As a 3-6 fan, I know we have time.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But no, we don't get any of those unfortunately horrible Tucker commercials on this way.
Yeah. Come out and visit us sometime.
It's actually weird to see an actual commercial now. I feel like it's so foreign to just see a commercial with somebody that's not in a political position.
Oh gosh.
Oh yeah.
It feels weird. I'm like, this is what TV was before? I don't remember this.
Yeah. I'm like, well, they're selling cars still.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, we'll move on to a couple odds and ends sports here.
The odds and ends part of our show.
Yeah.
We need something to introduce that.
Well, we don't have it now, so UFC and then NASCAR, and then we might have one more quick thing at the end. We haven't talked a lot of UFC recently, but I mean, I felt like we should talk about it a little bit at least, just because it's probably the biggest card of the year.
I would have to say, I would agree.
Be confident. It's John Jones. It's John Jones. Anyone who knows UFC in the last 10, 15 years.
Yeah. So let's see. We'll just look at this quick. We don't need to go through all this prelims, but
also, how is Mickey Gall still fighting?
I don't know. And I also saw, this is canceled. That's kind of bums. That's
all right. Both those guys are probably going to lose anyways.
So we got a prelims. I mean, you got Chris Weidman, Jim Miller still going somehow.
Still rocking it.
Then we go a lot of canceled fights. Main card, so it's kind of a weak bottom two. But then you got the top. Well, the top three are really what make it. So Bo Nickel, Paul Craig's that'll be a fun fight.
Yeah.
Mostly on the ground probably. But
and by the way, every time this has happened where I'm like, yeah, these fights look like shit, I'm not even gonna waste my time. Always turn into bangers. The UFC, they look like they're slipping. Somehow they'll just turn into exciting fights.
Yeah. Oliveira, Chandler, that's still happening, right? I saw some like weird stuff about Oliveira, but that's still a thing.
Oh, right? I think so. I haven't saw anything contrary.
Something came up that like Poirier was saying he would step in, but
okay.
But I think I think that's still a thing. So that should be a banger because Chandler's gonna stay up, and hopefully if Oliveira does too, that'll just be back and forth.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't think the John Jones fight's gonna be close, but I don't know what you think.
I don't think so. I don't think it makes it out of the second round.
Stipe's having 3 years now he hasn't fought. I mean,
I don't think so. And plus, John Jones is different when he gets in the octagon. Whatever's happening outside, you can judge him for, but it's just whenever he's in there, it's different. Something changes, and he turns into a violent animal.
Well, he's sometimes that, out of the ring
In the
too.
most polite way. I don't mean that in a mean way. I mean that as in
Yeah.
like he's a destroyer.
Yeah. He just has to keep that in the octagon because that sometimes trickles out a little bit.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, keep it inside. We love it inside. Not so much
inside is
outside.
fine.
Love it inside.
I mean, and Dana's going to be pretty excited when John Jones wins, and he's going to try to push for Aspinall. But he keeps pushing for Aspinall, and reality, I think everyone would love to see Jones and Pereira. I think like that would be the fight that everyone would love to see. And I think John Jones, well, he in an interview he said he wants that fight.
Okay, that's good because this could potentially be his last fight. So this could be it. But
yeah, how old is John Jones?
It did seem like this could be it, but there was an interview recently I saw right before before this week that someone asked him about Aspinall, and he basically said he's not interested in that fight because he sees Aspinall as just kind of like someone who hasn't done much yet. But he said he definitely would be interested in Pereira because he feels like that's like a legacy type fight.
That's true, yeah. I think Aspinall just needs a little bit more time.
Yeah.
I think if he fought John Jones, he's going to lose. It's not going to be a good one for him. It might even like stunt wherever he goes. But also, I wonder if John Jones, I don't know how much longer I don't know what his contract is. I don't know if he has a lot of fights left. But I just wonder if like they keep offering him more money.
Oh.
Okay, so he signed an 8-fight contract with the UFC in 2023.
So he's only
he probably has 6 fights left.
Yeah, this is
he only fought twice.
Fight 2.
Yeah.
So he have to fight that many times?
I don't think
he doesn't
so.
have to. I think if you retire, you get out. But that's interesting. It was 8 fights. I don't feel like they would have signed him if they didn't think he was going to be able to make at least half of those.
I agree. I bet you Dana's going to try to at least do 4, but I think Pereira would be that
has to happen. I think that just has to happen because of the money that the UFC would make off of that fight. So I feel like the incentive would be there, especially if it was a Saudi fight, like in the Riyadh arena. That would be, they would probably make $100 million off of that.
Yeah. But I mean, the card is going to be good just because of like those top 3 fights.
Yeah, and Bo Nickel always they've been throwing him in, and Paul Craig is not going to be an easy fight. They're probably going to grapple, and it's going to be exciting to see who can dominate.
The Bear Jew.
Yeah. So that'll be. I know people are probably going to be pissed. It's not going to be a knockout, but it'll be exciting to see the wrestling aspect of it.
Well, and Paul, I mean, he's a sketchy guy because he gets submissions on his back like nobody's business. So, but I don't think Bo Nickel is going to lose. I don't even know what the odds are. I'm sure it's way in favor of. I'm sure it's like a -500 situation or something.
Yeah, it'll just be interesting because I wonder how much like Paul Craig will if he's just going to try to do that. I mean, he could try to strike with them too. Obviously, I don't feel like Bo Nickel's really had a lot of straight stand-up rounds either.
No,
but that's not really like Paul Craig's calling card. I feel like all the fights that he's gotten in with 1,300. That's heavy.
Yeah,
that is heavy.
Jones is -7. There's a lot of heavy favorites.
725. I'm surprised that's not 1,000.
These are heavy favorites here.
270. Yeah. 270. Jeez. Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, some heavy favorites going on. But
is this the fight of the year? I feel like you guys are talking me out of it.
No, nothing's gonna top the Holloway Gaethje fight.
Yeah, that was
true. I don't think anything could top that.
No.
And Holloway, we didn't even talk about it, just fought for the title and lost. Got knocked out for the first time ever.
Yeah.
In his career.
That's ridiculous.
But yeah, just wanted to talk about that quick. I'm sure we'll just discuss some results when we see them. I'll probably watch a little bit of the main events. I probably honestly won't watch more than the last 3 fights. If I can stay awake, because now that I'm older, I struggle.
Yeah,
you're not old.
I don't know. I remember in Creekside, I feel like me and Chase used to be able to stay I would stay awake after the cards, and now it's like the main event. I'm almost falling asleep.
There would just be times where I just wouldn't sleep. I just could stay up all night and be like, all right, we're doing this, and then now sometimes 9 o'clock sneaks up on you.
Yeah,
9 o'clock. 9 o'clock.
a toddler also, but I'm just like, yeah,
But you guys wake up earlier too now with your jobs and stuff.
that's
yeah.
true.
But now it's like you pass out and you wake up and you're like, what happened? What time did I fall asleep? I just missed a whole football game. How did that happen? How did that happen?
I'm gonna start things at like 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
it's crazy.
All right, let's Chase, you want to touch a little bit on some NASCAR? I'll let you. I'll take this UFC down. And do you want me to bring up the NASCAR? Like,
Yeah, you can just bring up the homepage. I feel like
Homepage.
that'll. Yeah, I feel like that'll.
is this it?
Yeah. So
Yes.
yeah, there it is. The final standings: Joey Logano caps his 3rd championship in his career. The Connecticut boy,
Okay.
just adding to Connecticut's dominance in sports this year. I mean, if you look at the state as a whole, it's pretty, got a lot of championships going on up there. So Joey Logano does it. Tyler Reddick was making a run. A lot of people thought he could do it. I didn't touch on this last weekend just because I wasn't totally sure how it all was going to shake out, if it was final and all. But Christopher Bell not making the playoffs was just a result of penalty. And there was a lot of fines handed out for people. They felt like there was a little shenanigans happening where people were helping people, and
Oh my gosh.
and they felt like Christopher Bell was riding the wall, which was the Ross Chastain move. So he got bumped out. So
That's fun.
he could have had a chance. Obviously, racing, if you're not trying, then you're really not racing. So, it's just a costly penalty that pulled him out. But Ryan Blaney, last year's champion, finishing 2nd. I feel like that wasn't too much of a surprise. The thing that's really impressive, though, is those guys are teammates for Penske. So the fact they finished 1-2, not 2 years in a row, but having back-to-back champions in your organization and then having them finish top 2, that's really impressive. I feel like as a team, yeah, that's awesome to see that they just really turned it on. And Joey Logano, I feel like the All-Star break, he won that race, got his $1 million. And then after that, I was like, oh, let's see what he can do. And then from that point on, I mean, he was probably the most dominant driver. He had a bunch of wins, was racking it up, and even through the playoffs, having 2 wins and then winning the final race. That's just, you're just seeing it. Like, no one else was really able to do what he was doing. So hats off to him. Kyle Larson was the points leader all year. He finishes 6th. So a lot of people had bet him, to win. That was you're feeling good for a long time. And then
he was unbeatable.
Yeah, I thought it was. Yeah, literally.
it was crazy because he had one less race than everybody else. So, he was on a dominant fashion, and then Joey Logano just said, "No, this is domination right here," and he's going home with his cup. So, props to him. Joey Logano capped off another exciting NASCAR season, my first one back in a long time, and I would have to say definitely delivered. Definitely added to a lot of Sundays this summer. Just something else to look forward to and get into along with baseball. But I'm looking forward to see what's going to happen. There's some lawsuits with a couple of teams about next year with their charters. So we'll see how that shakes out. I'll definitely be keeping tabs on that. And hopefully when they drop the next season of, I think they call it Full Speed. I think that's what they're calling their program. Definitely going to touch in on that, but we'll see how it goes. There's going to be some changes. Obviously, some teams closed. Guys are switching spots, switching rides, and then we'll definitely be ready for it when it comes back around in February. Little off season, but
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's almost like, I don't know, NBA's massively long. Obviously, soccer, European soccer, ridiculously long seasons with tournaments and such in between. Forgot how long of a season NASCAR is. I mean, they only race once a week, right? But
yeah,
February essentially into November. That's wild.
Yeah, and it was a little longer this year because we had the Olympics break, so there was like a
That's true.
2-week, and then plus I think they had 2 weeks off, anyways, that are scheduled through the year.
Okay.
So they had this probably does wrap up usually in October, probably a little bit sooner, but it was exciting to have it go as long as it did. I hated the Olympic break when it was on, but I have to say I like that it went this long. To be able to watch football and NASCAR dual screen was kind of fun for a little bit there. So it was exciting, but good action. We'll see how next year goes. Definitely have to give you guys another long shot bet. Have to go through the books, get a good feel on it. Maybe watch maybe the documentary will sway me. It definitely swayed me last year towards Christopher Bell, and I can't say it wasn't a bad bet. It wasn't a bad one. He held in there. He was dominant. Had a lot of wins on the season. Just couldn't figure it out at the end. But hopefully he grows from it. Goes back in there, gets stronger, and we see a more dominant Christopher Bell in the 2025 season.
Yeah, for sure. And it's kind of crazy, Chase. I didn't even think about it like this, but I was like, oh yeah, NASCAR basically only has off the couple winter months. But I guess it's one of those sports that you really can't. I mean, depending on where you race, right? But there's definitely some tracks, I'm sure, during the wintertime gets icy, if it's snowing, like there's certain conditions they wouldn't be able to race in.
Yeah.
That makes them have. I mean, I don't know. Now with sports, I mean, baseball, football, there's so many stadiums that are, become domes. So it doesn't matter, right? But you still think about, I mean, like it's like hockey originally was like only up north because, there was no ice in the South. But NASCAR is one of those few remaining sports that essentially they have to race when they do because of potential, winter conditions. So it's kind of a cool factor about it too. It has that uniqueness to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be cool if they did like a winter and just did like southern states like Texas, Arizona.
Yeah, like
they're going to Mexico next year. So but it'll be a road course race but yeah, most of their heavy tracks are in places where it's like you're saying, it's going to be winter mix for the next few months. So
yeah, it's not like a Buffalo Bills game where you can just get a bunch of volunteers to go shovel out the stadium before. It's like, oh no, these have to actually drive on a track.
Yeah, and they did switch the tires so they could run in rain, and they did in a few races where they wouldn't have been able to in years before. So the fact they're moving into rain and some other conditions, they could always. I'm sure NASCAR would love to have more, as the NFL wants to extend their season. I'm sure NASCAR, if they could find different ways to extend the season, they would want to do that to make money.
Yeah.
So
imagine how loud it'd be if there was a dome stadium. Oh my god!
Yeah, I don't even know how it would work. They would have to run on like alcohol or something. Because if it was gas, everyone would die.
Oh yeah. Okay. Never mind.
They'll get one lap in, and everyone would be like, out.
Okay.
I mean, they do the Clash at the Coliseum, so they have done it in like a spot like that. So I mean, that's not a dome, but some of these like SoFi is a dome, but it's open air dome. Like it's like it has a roof. Like they could probably do something there.
Everyone races in a Tesla.
Yeah, e-racing. Yeah.
Oh my god! Don't stop. Okay. All right, we're capped.
All right, yep. So we're gonna end it there. I think we next week maybe we'll talk some college football as well. Kind of go over some of the playoff stuff. It'll drop here pretty soon, and we'll talk about it a little bit maybe off air. But yeah, we'll catch you guys next week. I'll be at your place, so it'll be a little different background, but. Other than that, we'll be here Tuesday, 7:30.
Road game.
Yeah, road game. So
road pod.
Road pod.
So, yeah, Ben Ryan Chase, AFR, episode 86. It was a fun one. Thanks for coming and hanging with us, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
Peace.